Let us understand the topic of degrees of comparison. In younger classes, you might have done degrees of comparison, that is 3 degrees of comparison: positive, comparative, and superlative. As a little kid, you might have done words like maybe good, better, best, or maybe sweet, sweeter, sweetest. If it was a large word, that is more than 2 syllables, you might have written it this way: handsome, more handsome than, and the most handsome. Now, in the older classes, this is not how you will be asked to change the degree of comparison. This was how you did it as a little child. Now you'll get sentences that you have to convert into another degree without changing the meaning. Whenever we do that, we have to understand first what is being compared to what, in which degree is it originally. If it is in the superlative degree, we can make it in comparative and positive. But when only 2 things are being compared, we use the positive and the comparative degree only, and we do not use the superlative degree at all. Even when it has to be done in columns, sometimes some words do pose a problem. For example, old, older, oldest. You might wonder, what is the problem here? No problem at all. But some people don't understand the difference between older and elder, oldest and eldest. When you use older than and the oldest, you're comparing 2 people here, and here you're saying someone is the oldest among many. But if you're not using it as a degree of comparison, and if you just want to say my elder sister is getting married, my eldest sister is getting married, then you will not use elder, eldest as a degree of comparison. You're using old, elder and eldest, but not as in superlative and comparative. You cannot say elder than. My elder sister is getting married. So it's just acting as an adjective. My eldest sister is getting married. We cannot say she is the eldest in the family. She is the oldest in the family. Another common mistake that children make. For example, if I say here late, later, what are you likely to put here? Most of you will put latest, when actually it should be last. For example, this student came late. This student came a little later. Can I say that the next student came latest? No, he's not a fashion, he's not a movie, he came last. Will you remember? Late, later, last. Of course, if it's a movie or fashion, you can use latest also. Please see the context, and accordingly you can use it. Now, far, farther, and farthest. I know it sounds a little odd to say farther, and a lot of people use the word further, but both have different meanings. How far do we have to walk? I'm really tired. I can't walk any farther. Your house is farther from the school than mine is. We are not saying farther, we are saying farther. That means more far. His house is the farthest from the school. But when I use the word further, it means I would like to add some point. Furthermore, I would like to say something. So, this is not the right spelling. Will you remember? Okay, these are little places where people make mistakes. Now, if you know good, better, best, we also have a well, better, best. But what is the difference? Good is an adjective telling you about a person, while well is an adverb. You do something well, you do it better than somebody else, and you are the best at doing it. We are not saying you as a person are good, but how you do something is very well. Is so much clear? Now we go on to a little higher concept, the way you will actually need to do it when you are in the SSC or when you're in the 9th standard, when you're in older classes. Let us put down the formulae. The first one, I'm writing S for short so that you understand that this is superlative degree instead of writing the entire word. Okay? If I say Kapil was the best bowler, in comparative, I would say Kapil was better than any other bowler. In positive, no other bowler was as good as Kapil, or as Kapil was. Is that clear? Here we are talking about Kapil being the best. We have the best in superlative, better than in comparative, and good in positive degree. But if we say Kapil Dev was one of the best, then can we say that no other bowler was as good as Kapil? No, because there were 2-3 others also who were as good as he was. So we use that as a second formula whenever we are talking about someone being the one of the best, not the only one who was the best. For example, if I say Madhuri Dixit is one of the best dancers. That means there are quite a few dancers who are as good as Madhuri Dixit. Today she is known as Madhuri Nene. But she is not the best in the sense she is not the only one who is a very, very good dancer. We had other dancers too who were equally good. So when we compare her with others, Madhuri Dixit is better than most of the other dancers. Here we have the best, here we have better than. But she's not better than all the other dancers, but she's better than most of them. In the positive degree, very few dancers are as good as Madhuri Dixit. Have you got the 3 degrees? Good, better and best. But you can see that both these formulae are different. In the first one, there is only one who is the greatest or the sweetest or the tallest. For example, in Mulund, Tridev building is the tallest building. So if I do it according to this pattern, Tridev is taller than any other building and no other building is as tall as Tridev, that is in Mulund. Okay, the second style. If I say Bangladesh is one of the poorest countries, Bangladesh is one of the poorest countries. I'm not saying it is the poorest. So Bangladesh is poorer than most of the other countries. And very few, there are other countries also that are as poor as Bangladesh is. Now when we take the third formula, you will not have the superlative degree because I'm comparing only 2. In the comparative degree, if I said Madhuri is a better dancer than Sridevi. Only two are being compared, so we cannot have superlative degree. Between the two, you cannot say one is the best. One is better than the other is not as good as the first one. In positive, Sridevi is not as good a dancer as Madhuri Dixit. So you again have better than and good. So you can see that the degree has been changed, but there will be nothing in the superlative. This is similar to Amitabh is taller than Jaya. Jaya is not as tall as Amitabh. We are comparing only two. You cannot say between the two of them Amitabh is the tallest.